So one time I was at a world competition in Vegas. You were there. One team ran short of material. A competitor gave the needed glass. I was sitting with Carl Iddig. Carl's a friend of ours, fifth generation glass blowing lamp worker. Carl said, "You'd never see that in Europe."
Okay, now let's switch gears for a second out of the competitiveness of the global artists and focus in on the American the laws. Has the fact that the glass pipes are deemed illegal, has that ever bothered you?
Well, when it comes to legislation, that's not my job, of course. Of course I've felt some kind of concern. I hope legislation catches up and leaves archaic laws off the books, and we move in a proper direction towards lining up with the cannabis legalities.
And that kind of led into to that next question of it is possible that pot may become legal, especially there in Oregon, before glass pipes. We're actually looking at Oregon going over and going ahead and becoming legal in November, and glass pipes still would not be legal at that point. What is there any thoughts on that?
Hope they treat it like the blue laws of back east, because they just wait until their time runs out and take them off the books forever without having to go through legislation. I'm hoping that's what happens. I have no idea.
Okay, let's move over to the next subject of the uncolored glass, the scientific stuff. This is becoming a real popular movement right now since about 2005. Do you recognize that, and what do you think about that? How it's all kind of switched?
Yeah, it exists. Uncolored movement resembles scientific apparatus, and that's where you work at a procedure to do the least distortion to a piece as possible, so that you can produce the really clean lines and crisp appearance. Now, I'm kind of a flowers guy, and on that, I make pieces that are for that. I work glass, I make it multi-layered, I include layers of silver and gold, reduce it to a molten gob, I work on the edge of out of control, and then restore the shape to something I'd like.
Now, that's absolutely true, and that's what everybody loves about you most, man. So, don't change a goddamn thing about your style.
I don't plan to change my style for the better trend.
Okay, now I wanna ask you in terms of glass blowing as an artistic medium, in where we are right now today. You are leveled with, the Dale Chihulis or the top guys in the world that touch glass. You are one of them. Do you feel that you have a stigma on your zone in that rainbow because you're the guy making the pipes used for pot? Or how do you feel about that?
Stigmas come and go, and maybe one of these days there'll be road shows and our stuff will be more popular than anything else out there. I don't know. I may have been sabotaged on one prestigious donation I gave when the flyer came to me. It came to the right address with my name spelled right on the envelope, but where it said that I'd made the donation, it said Bob, a naughtiness. This naughtiness, what?
Oh, that's awesome.
A couple funny things, so it'll just come and go, but it doesn't really hurt, or interrupt. I'm not going to ever be a Chihuly.
Let's talk about right now of the modern flock of pipe makers going on right now. What are the guys that most impress you right now, or who are the guys that most impress you?
Too many of them. It's like an overwhelming question. I just got done looking at a bunch of pictures from things at Gas. That's overwhelming. I think we've already became too big a field for anybody to say this is the coolest or this is the greatest right now, unless somebody comes out with glass that walks and talks for you. I don't have an answer who I would imply. I think most of the good artists are on both coasts. It seems like they gravitate towards that way. This Northwest seems to pull a lot more, though. From Bellingham down, Smoky Point down, I've been to studios and just really hard pressed to say what's the best or who's the best. It's everybody's got a little niche, and there's a lot of beautiful work out there.
Absolutely.
Be your own judge. I don't want to judge for somebody.
If in this article, if you could pass on a good piece of advice, one good piece of advice to the entire smoking culture that is reading this, what would you try to pass on?
Oh, tilt your pipe 90 degrees. Light your lighter so the flint dust doesn't go in the bowl. Flame goes straight up. Turn the pipe sideways. That'd be a good one. As far as the artists and those that are starting out, I think lamp working's kind of like falling in love, and if there's any beginners, I'd tell them to read a few books, take a couple classes from people they think are really good, and patience. Make quality work. Don't try to produce, let it flow. Make a product that matches your skills, and your skills will improve. The more complicated pieces will come along. Like playing a musical instrument, it's more practice the better you get. At least you hope so. As far as an industry idea, I don't know. I still don't consider us an industry. There's a lot of people that are a lot more organized than I am, and of course they might have that business sense to consider it an industry.
I have one more written question, and then I'm going to have a question of my own. But the one written question was, what do you think your legacy is going to be after all this?
Okay, here's a new word I heard on television. Cooperation. Is that a good one?
I love it.
I think that's how it goes. The more we cooperate, the more we compete, the better we're going to produce things. So cooperation, that's my legacy.
It seems like a good fit. Okay, so the question that I want to add is, I just wanted to explain to the readers, there was a story you told me years ago about why these pipes are coming out of you, and maybe you're channeling them, and maybe they could be used for the key to a spaceship.
I did say that. I told you the story.
You want to give a quick little glimpse of it?
I think you just said it all. Sometimes I feel like I'm channeling energy, and what I produce are the keys to the spaceship. Isn't that cool?
Yeah, that's the coolest.
Okay, so after stumbling on fuming, I researched and found no mention of it in any of the references that I could find. And I was fuming and adding layers of clear glass and melting it down and building it up and melting it down and producing pictures with lines and dots and precious metals. And this new style produced beautiful effects, especially when you smoked at them and a dark background got behind it. The light bounced back at you and appeared to change the color of the glass. I was truly impressed. I said to myself, this technique will raise the bar on lamp working. And that's when I decided to learn all I could to teach. And over the years, I've taken classes on health and safety, equipment, even speech classes to better impart what I know of this field to whoever I'm teaching. And that's it.
Yeah, I like it. It's compelling for sure. All right, Bob, I appreciate your time.
And thank you, Jason. Be seeing you soon.
All right, bro, we'll talk soon. Aloha. Thanks again.